We are in the midst of sending out a series of open records requests related to citizenship checks. And I wanted to share with you, just for grins, uh, what happened when we sent a request to Georgia. We're sending them off nationwide, but Georgia's was particularly interesting, and I thought you might find it intriguing the way that they responded. Um, but what we're asking for specifically is, how do you, Mr. and Ms. Secretary of State or other authoritative body at the state level in the top 250 counties in the country, how do you resolve for citizenship eligibility? Because we know that you aren't equipped with a nationwide database that allows you to properly check save databases as close as it comes, and that requires that you come to the database with documentation of immigration status already. So you can't just do a blind check. You kind of have to know the answer before you start. So if somebody's record has been added to the rolls and you don't have anything else about them but that they're added, there's really no way to back into that. So we're just curious to see how the states are going to answer. But Georgia's interesting. Georgia's interesting because I read an article that said that they had done a citizenship audit and issued a press release and everything. They'd done this back in 2022. And so I reached out to them and asked for information about the citizenship audit because I was very interested in understanding the what secret sauce they were using to get their answers. So let me show you what that looks like a little bit. Here's the deal. Um, we had sent a open records request on earlier this month asking for information around their citizenship audit, and they went through and they responded last week and noted that they didn't have responsive records for many of the items that I would have considered to be necessary for any ongoing audit effort. For example, the personnel who were involved in the audit, including the agency affiliations, um, audit strategy. How did they conduct the audit? A list of databases used to conduct the audit, and then just other work papers. They said they didn't have any responsive records for any of that. For request 10, they denied that based on a citation that if you look into the code, what it says is that the release of this information, which item 10 is a copy of each eligibility request submitted to the SAVE program, including immigration documents or data, but redacted as necessary. And they tied that back to a code that seems to indicate that it was akin to revealing how the inner workings of the election equipment would it was came under the kind of the status of election equipment, and that the release of such data would be harmful to the election process. So I'm not sure how that one squared. But the last one, the last little data point here was what drove me to share this, because you just shake your head. For the remaining requests, which really should be, 30 minutes to an hour worth of work. And I know they have a ton of open records requests, so it doesn't shock me that, we would be in the queue to be responded to. But it did seem to me a little outrageous that they couldn't provide responsive documents to how they're checking for citizenship status until September the 12th at a cost of $7,502. So we had until today to notify them whether or not we accepted the charges. And we're saying, yes, we are. And we'd like to understand how those charges were calculated. So we'll keep you posted there. But this is the kind of thing that makes you crazy, right? Because this is information that we need to know now. Frankly, it's something that should already be available. Let me go back to this view. It should be something that's already posted, that the process is totally transparent, that we have no doubt about how identity, residency, and citizenship are being reconciled. That should be something that any citizen in any state should be able to look at and take comfort in understanding how the process of elections and the proper management of voter data is being handled by our elected officials. this kind of nonsense that is, it's going to take 6 months and $7,500 to get this information is outrageous. So we'll see what they come back with. Maybe I am mistaken. If so, I will correct myself, but I don't think so. But we'll see.